Hi, and welcome to the micro lecture on actually launching a new product. There's a lot of things that are attached to this and involved with it. We think of launching new products as being a highly involved project with a timeline, a commitment of resources. So it feels a lot like project management, but there's certain things that are common between the elements of actually launching into a new product. Before we go anywhere, we have to forecast sales. And forecasting sales in and of itself serves lots of purposes, but not the least of which is helps us understand what resources we're going to need when to make this whole thing work. So that's part of the reason for forecasting sales. So forecasts are important. Again, accounting and finance will not let you do it without having a reasonable forecast. Sales are also, forecasts are used for setting sales goals, product and logistics for planning, equipment storage. You can see it affects almost all aspects of the business. So the forecasting drill is not a minor one at all. So there's lots of different ways to do this. I'm going to give you a rough overview of it that might be approached, but there's many, many different ways of going about doing this. And so for me to say that there's a way to do it would be wrong. But I'll give you a rough overview so you get a sense of what you have to actually try to accomplish. So forecasting, the goal is to estimate sales potential, not actual sales. I mean, we don't know that. We will put actual sales against our forecast, but nonetheless, when we're coming up with it, we just don't know. So it's our best guess, right? So we have to determine market potential. We might, typically when we're talking about a physical product, we're talking about units being sold because there's no monetary value necessarily attached to those units, but we can get into a sense of like, okay, we think we're going to sell X amount of units per day over the next 90 days, whatever it is. There's lots of ways to go about doing this. From a forecasting standpoint, you might use secondary data like census data, sales for similar products within your line. All those kinds of things might come into play. There's lots of different ways to go about doing that. You estimate the purchase intention, which means the likelihood that your target market will buy the product. Your research will help you with that a little bit, and you certainly can leverage it, but in any case, it's kind of a guess. So not surprisingly, we typically state it in terms of a upper level and a lower level of what the potential might be over a period of time. And we do that for the simple purpose of saying this gives us an idea of where we think our sales are going to be, through this whole process, okay? We use that also to help us understand and determine the price for the product. We also have to understand that estimate may or may not stay the same. So we have to kind of look at it from the standpoint of range, if you will. So the forecasting equation ultimately becomes what you think your market value is for it, market adoption of it, and then times the price, and then it gives you an idea of the sales that you might achieve from the product offer. So again, lots of ways to do this. This is certainly not the only. This is just an overview of a way to do it. Timing is a really, really important part of it because the process of developing new products can be relatively quick or slow for the most part. It's fairly quick these days, as we've talked about. Speed to market is a really important thing. On the other hand, we can look at like the pharmaceutical industry and know that there's regulations that ensure that it's going to take several years to actually develop a new product. So timing is a really, really important part of this as a consideration. Lots of causes for delay of it, and you will live them all if you do the new product development. So some of them are internal, priority shift, all kinds of things could happen that keep it from being launched in the time frame that you were hoping that it would be launched. And there's also external things going on. Patents, copyrights, regulatory approvals. There's all different types of things that come into play that affect the timing of your new product launch. So the reason why this is fairly general is that it's very specific to the product that you are launching and the factors that go into that. as you can appreciate, they vary considerably depending on what we're looking at. So, but it gives you kind of a rough framework as to how we actually go about doing new product launches. Okay. So the next thing we're going to talk about is the product lifestyle. Thank you. And if you have any questions at all, please let me know.